of clothing item, that would be appreciated by us. So we're glad this evening to have as our special speaker, Ms. Donaghy Brady, who is from the Office of the Poor Relief for Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And Ms. Brady is going to be sharing in her role as homeless coordinator and poor relief officer. She's going to share with us some of the things that we're probably not aware of and about homelessness in Jamaica, and what the Office of Poor Relief is going to be doing, has been doing over the years in terms of shelter management, in terms of programs to assist those people who are in need. I mentioned before the Hope for the Homeless program, which we are doing our small part, but I'm sure there's lots of other things that members of the public as well as Kiwanians can do to help to create a better environment for these people and put them in a stronger position, both mentally as well as financially. I want to thank Ms. Donaghy Brady for coming on, and also Ms. Farquharson, Mavis Farquharson at Office of Poor Relief, because they and their team is tireless in their efforts to help out the various shelters that we have around Kingston. A lot of people are not aware that there are shelters that cater to persons who are in need. And especially at this time, at Christmas time, when most people have family around them, there are many people who do not have family, and we should not take our own circumstances for granted, but we should, as best as we can, try and help those people who are homeless. And just to add as a final point that Kiwanis Club of Kingston also has another program which works with the Office of Poor Relief. So every third Saturday, we have a feeding of the poor. We feed about 150 persons along with the Kiwanis Club of Barbican. So if you'd like to contribute to that, or you'd like to participate in that as a Kiwanian, please reach out to us and we will be able to share with you the details of that. But every third Saturday at the Hanover Street shelter, we do offer a feeding program for the homeless persons at that time. So those are the three things I would like to share with you at this time. But we want to go into all our guests because the people are rolling in. And I'm going to ask DP Junior Stewart if he can do the introductions and the greetings for our fellow Kiwanians. DP Junior, are you there? Hoping he's here. President Joan, I see you. Welcome. Is Junior here? I know we did get apologies from IPP Newton. He's unavoidably absent, but I think DP Junior was supposed to be here. All right, in the absence of DP Junior, I will just quickly fill the role of introductions of all our guest Kiwanians. Let's start, first of all, if we have anybody from outside of Jamaica, anybody from the diaspora or beyond our shores who is joining us this evening. Can you open your microphone and your camera if possible, and just share with us your name and where you're joining us from? Anybody overseas? Nope. Let's go to Kiwanians who are here. Oh, is somebody saying something? Going.
No, President.
All right. Let's go to Kiwanis Division 25. Do we have any clubs that are joining us from Division 25?
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
This is Secretary Shamika from Coastal Trelawney. There are 5 of us online at the moment, including myself. Others are expected to join soon. We thank you for the invitation and we look forward to a very informative meeting. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. And that's Kiwanis Club of Coastal Trelawney, correct?
That is correct.
All right, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Any other clubs from Division 25? Division 25 Kiwanis? If not, let's go to Division 24. Do we have anybody from Division 24? Please don't be shy. Nobody from Division 24? Okay, let's move to Division 23. 23 West, first of all. Clubs from 23 West.
Good evening, President Stephen. President Kashim. Yes, President. Yes, from the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville. Here, currently, I'm the only one here. I'm hoping other members will be joining on shortly. Yes. I trust that this will be a very interesting and informative meeting. And thanks for the invitation.
Yes, thank you, President. And I hope that as your other members come in, that that you can share in the chat. We want to make the meeting as interactive as possible. So when your other members join, you can put it in the chat. And Kiwanians and guests, if you have questions, you can either open your microphone and as the coordinator will allow questions later on, or you can put it in the chat. We will try and answer all the questions or the comments as possible as we see fit. Hello, DP Paul. I see you joining us again from Japan. Welcome. We're asking for people overseas earlier, so we have DP Paul live and direct. Those of you who missed his presentation last week on Japan can visit our YouTube channel, and you'll see all of the information and insight that DP Paul shared with us on life in Japan. We are currently at Kiwanians in Division 23 West. If there's nobody from 23 West, I'm going to move to 23 East.
Good evening.
Good evening. Who is this?
Good evening, President Stephen. This is Chair Tamara from the Kiwanis Club of 23 East, Professional St. Andrew Online. On behalf of President Anna Ziki, I would like to say thank you for the invitation. We're three number at the moment, and I am looking forward to hearing what's happening on this meeting. It seems to be very informative based on the topic, so I look forward to it. Thank you again for the invite.
Thank you. Thank you, Tamara.
Good evening, President Stephen.
Good evening. Hold on.
Team at Kingston, Kiwanis Club of Kingston. This is Secretary Carleen representing Kiwanis Club of South St. Andrew. On behalf of President Karen, I bring greetings. We are currently 2 in number. I am sure others will join as the meeting progresses. We're looking forward to a very interactive and informative session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Secretary Caroline. I got your name right? Caroline? Yeah, okay. And the rest of your delegation, South St. Andrew. We're still in Division 23 East. All the Kiwanians from 23 East, roll out. Can we hear you? Nobody else from 23 East? Let's move to 23 Central. We should have some members here from 23 Central. I think I saw. Hello, President Joan.
Hello, President Stephen.
Hello.
Good evening, my fellow Kiwanians. Blessings to all of you. This is President Joan from Nation Builders Kingston, and as always, we are, as you can hear, excited to be in this meeting with you all. The topic, it seems very informative, as was said before, and interesting. So I'm looking forward to this meeting. We are 2 in number at the moment, and I'm looking forward to more persons joining us. Thank you again for the invite.
Thank you. Nation Builders Kingston, glad to have you, President Joan, always omnipresent. And we appreciate your company and your club. We're still in Division 23C.
President Stephen, I know I saw DLG Gertlin, and she's from Division 23 East.
Yes.
So I don't know if she wants to introduce.
Stuart, I was not really. I was waiting for others. I just left a membership meeting and I invited them, so I was waiting. But it's great to be on. Thank you, D.B. Stewart. And President, I am sorry, my friend is not on this evening anyway. It's great to join your meeting, and I'm hoping others will join because there are 2 meetings on New Kingston at the moment, and I just left one. So thank you for having me. And the topic is interesting. Yes, hope we'll find some solutions. Thank you.
Solutions, yes. And as Kiwanians, we
I don't know if we're going to find any, but hopefully.
Yes, we will. I'm sure Ms. Donaghy will share with us some ways in which we can help.
I am hoping so.
I'm hoping so.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Gerthlyn, and the rest of New Kingston who is joining us this evening.
When they join, yes.
When they
Thank
join,
you.
yes. All right, no problem. We were at 23 East, but we moved to Central. All the Kiwanis clubs from 23 Central. Microphone is yours. Please introduce yourself and your delegation.
Good evening, President Stephen. How are you doing?
I am fine, Dr. Eurydice, President Dr. Eurydice.
Okay,
Go ahead.
great. Well, I am from 23 Central Surrey Online, and at this time we have a delegation of 2 to include IPLG Desmond. So thank you for the invite, and I look forward to this informative meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you also. Central Surrey Online. We're still in Division 23 Central. Any other Kiwanians? And welcome, I think I see Miss Brady online. Welcome, Miss Brady. We're looking forward to your presentation later on. We're just doing some of the formalities of our program, and we'll soon come to your part of the program a little bit later on.
Good evening and thank you.
You're most welcome.
President Steve.
PDT Ralston, I see you. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you to be excused as I'm making a presentation on the strategic plan at another club.
Okay.
That's shortly.
Okay.
I wanted us to hear this topic because I've come to close to being homeless on about 3 occasions when my wife threatened to throw me out of the house.
That's a different story. You deserve it.
Only 3?
But President, excuse me while I
all right.
do duties elsewhere.
Yes, we understand and we appreciate that you at least joined us for a part of the meeting.
Yes, President. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. So yes, not that kind of homeless. I'm sure Ms. Brady is not going to talk about that kind of thing, but it's homelessness of a different nature. It's called being on the couch. We're still in Division 23 Central. Any other clubs would like to introduce themselves? Please don't be shy. I'm looking. I see a lot of Kiwanis Club of Kingston members. New Kingston, I see. South St. Andrew is 23, sorry, online. If there's no other club, going once, going twice. If you haven't introduced yourselves, you can still use the chat forum. And if not, welcome one and all Kiwanians, guests. Again, thank you for taking time out this evening. We know that you could be elsewhere, and those of you who are here, we hope that you learned something and we can all contribute to making this Jamaica land we love a better society in some shape or form. So on that note, I'm going to move now to what's next on the agenda. Kiwanis education. And I think we have immediate past Lieutenant Governor Desmond Batchelor, who's going to share with us some insights on Kiwanis education. I think yes, I see IPLG Desmond online. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, President Stephen. Good evening, everyone, fellow Kiwanians, SLP members and guests. The topic is point of order. What is a point of order? It's a term used in formal meetings, debates, and parliamentary procedures to interrupt the current discussion and bring attention to a procedural issue or rule infraction. When to raise a point of order? 1, when there's a procedural error such as it is a rule, if a rule or procedure is not being followed, for example, not following the accepted agenda. Also, it relates to relevance. If the current discussion is not relevant to the agenda or the topic at hand. The third point is misinformation. If incorrect or misleading information is being presented. And fourth point, improper conduct, lack of decorum, example, using profanity, making personal attacks, harassments. How to raise a point of order. Stand and address the chair. Say, point of order. Miss or chair or madam, as the case may be. state the specific rule or procedure being violated, provide a brief explanation of the issue. Now, what is the chair's response? The chair will acknowledge the point of order. The chair will make or will ask for clarification or additional information if necessary. And this is additional information from what you have already stated. The chair will make a ruling on the point of order by sustaining the point of order, and this is really upholding the rule or procedure, or overruling the point of order, which is dismissing the objection. The goal of the point of order is to ensure that the meeting or debate is conducted fairly and in accordance with established rules and procedures. And that's it for Kiwanis Education, President.
Thank you, IPLG Desmond. Very interesting. In my own experience, thankfully, there has not been a lot of point of order objections at the club level, but I did experience what you spoke about at the district convention, the Kiwanis district convention. It particularly tends to come up around election time or where there's a controversial resolution on the floor. Many times, sometimes there is a point of order objection for on various grounds. So, but it is also, it's very timely for Kiwanians to know what's the protocol and the procedure if there's something that is being done that is not consistent with Kiwanis rules and regulations. So thank you for that. And Kiwanians, we should be acquainted with all of the procedures for future reference.
Welcome, President.
Thank you. I did skip apologies at the beginning of the program, so I'd like to retrace my steps and issue apologies for some of our members who have indicated that they will be unable to be here. They would like to be here. So I do have apologies from IPP Newton Ramdale, from Treasurer Orville Lewis, Kiwanian Andy John Baptiste, and I'm going to ask Secretary Willie, DLG Willie, if there are any other apologies from Kingston members that he has received for this evening.
Yeah, distinguished President Richard Reese.
Okay, all right, noted. And we, at the same time, we recognize those who were unable to attend. We would like to also recognize those members who are here. And I see Director Andrew Burton, Director Rupert Whitaker, among many other past Director Warren McDonald, Director Cristal from Montego Bay Kiwanis Club, among others. Thank you one and all for being here. I'm now going to move to our guest speaker, the person who everybody is here to learn and hear a lot more from. And I'm going to ask Director D.P. Rupert to do the introduction of the guest speaker at this point, at this juncture in the meeting. So D.P. Rupert, over to you.
Thank you, Prez. Good evening, Kiwanians and guests. This evening, I know we have a very special speaker who is online and ready to go. Her name is Donna Gay Brady, and she's going to be speaking on homelessness across the Kingston metropolitan area. Homelessness is something that is common around the world, despite the fact that we are probably the most developed in the history of mankind, the most economically advanced. But so many people in so many countries are homeless for different reasons. And in Jamaica, we are no exception. And in Kingston, especially in certain places that you go, it is so pronounced. So we're very happy to have Miss Donna Gay to be with us. She's the homeless coordinator, Poor Relief Officer Homeless Coordinator for the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, having served previously in the municipal corporation, the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, in almost a similar capacity. I know it's hard work. She's driven by her personal experience growing up and her holistic approach to work to empower those who are marginalized. And we like that because she sounds almost like a Kiwanian. She has seen many people facing discrimination and all kinds of evil, so just surviving, some people surviving on the street. And she has been working for a number of years in helping people, and especially the homeless. And we just want to tell her, keep up the good work and keep doing what you're doing. And we are very, very happy to have you. By the way, she's a Westwood old girl, if she would like that term. I know that's a famous school somewhere north west of us. She also attended the University College of the Caribbean, no, the Commonwealth. She studied also at this is up at Papine. This is where we have the Vocational Training Development Institute. And she's here to pass on not only her expertise, but probably to help us to understand what's happening. Can we join our hands and hearts in welcoming Miss Donna Gay Brady from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the Poor Relief Officer in charge of those who are homeless, the homeless coordinator, making sure that those who are homeless are taken care of. Can we just welcome you, ma'am? And on behalf of the Kiwanis Club of Kingston, we wish you all the best as you present to us. Can we just put our hands together as we open our mic?
You are muted, Miss Brady. DP still remember also the recording aspect of the meeting.
Yeah, I did that. I started that already when we were doing the.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
It is indeed an honor and privilege to have been asked to present on this topic. Mr. Whitaker, thank you for that commendable introduction. And thank you for making reference to me being a Westwood old girl. Because, as a Westwood old girl, my foundation is Ora et Labore, by prayer and by work. So whilst at Westwood, they instilled certain principles that I carry through with me into adulthood.
Miss Brady, before you start, are you going to be able to open your camera so we can see you? We're seeing the presentation, but we're not seeing you, and we're hearing your voice fine.
Okay. Okay. You're seeing me just fine?
A little bit out of focus. Yeah, we're seeing you now. Yeah,
you're seeing me now. Okay,
yes.
Good.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Homelessness across the Kingston.
Ms. Brady,
You can.
you have to press share the presentation. So now we're seeing
I
you,
am
but
sharing. I am sharing the presentation. I seem to be having some technical challenges.
Well, do what you did before because you had the presentation on screen. What will happen is that you will be a smaller picture to the side. Right. That's how it should be.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Better. Okay, so I'll be presenting on homelessness across the Kingston Metropolitan area. As introduced before, I am the homeless coordinator for the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, where we believe in providing quality human services. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is headed by His Worship the Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Andrew Swaby, who is the chairman, and our CEO or Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Robert Hill, JP. Homelessness is a worldwide phenomenon known to affect major cities across the world. And of course, this is no different in the city of Kingston. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, we are the leading local authority with the responsibility of developing and implementing strategies to address the issue of homelessness across the municipality through our Poor Relief Department. Before going into homelessness, I will shed some light on our Poor Relief Department. Many persons, despite Poor Relief being the genesis of all major social welfare programs on the island, many persons may not have been aware of it. But Poor Relief, it is Jamaica's premier social welfare system. The aim of the Poor Relief system is to provide poverty alleviation or to relieve destitution in all of its forms. This we attempt to tackle through a three-tier structure. The Board of Supervision, this board, they are the supervisory body and they create policies that oversee the operation of Poor Relief. This board operates under the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. This ministry is headed by the Honorable Minister Desmond Mackenzie, and they are the management body. Then it trickles down to the municipal authorities, which Kingston and St. Andrew falls a part of. And under the municipal authorities, then comes the Poor Relief Department, which are the implementers as it relates to Poor Relief. Poor Relief does not operate on its own. We are guided by the Poor Relief Act of 1886. This act was last amended in 1973. This is the principal act that governs the administration of poor relief right across the island, not just in Kingston. This act outlines the roles and responsibilities of the major groups that falls in the three-tier poor relief system. Under this act, we seek to offer services to the most vulnerable members of the society who require not only the input of the government, but that of its partners, non-government organizations, the business sector, faith-based organizations, the community, and the general public. As I always say, and in Poor Relief, we are firm believers in this quote: individually, we are one drop, but together we are an ocean. As such, we live by that mantra. Persons who are eligible for Poor Relief. Now, Poor Relief assistance is rendered to individuals within the municipality who are wholly destitute of the means of subsistence and are at the same time, due to mental or physical causes, unable to work and earn means of subsistence. This section of the Act was a bit limited, having re-examined and over time, the criterion, it has broadened, and we seek to accommodate more individuals and groups who are experiencing circumstantial causes of poverty. These circumstances may range from gender-based violence, natural disasters, fire victims, different circumstances, unexpected circumstances that may plunge an individual, a normal working individual who is neither mentally or physically disabled, but then they become poor or destitute simply because of a particular situation. We render assistance to those individuals. The target groups of the poor relief system are primarily the beneficiaries or group of individuals who require human services from the local authorities. Our department focuses on two broad areas, namely the outdoor poor relief care. And outdoor poor relief care covers destitute individuals living in their own residence, educational support for children in poor families, indigent housing, burial assistance, and the hot topic for this evening, homelessness. Then you'll have the indoor poor relief care. Indoor poor relief care is what we call institutional care. And this is the service that we offer in our infirmaries, or what we consider in Kingston our golden age homes. Over the years, the department, it has evolved. And as such, we have moved away from traditional practices. And we have been providing quality human services. As such, the implementation of the whole person approach has become mandatory. On screen, you will see the tool that we utilize as human services professionals to embark on holistic outcomes for our clients and residents. Case managers, poor relief officers in our case, carry out investigations, and we focus on 8 critical areas to improve the client's well-being. The areas, if you take a glance, will include medical, personal care, work, the skills or ability that an individual have, parenting or caring relationships, the person's financial status, education and training, accommodation, and social and cultural practices. This, we believe that if we dissect an individual's whole person, then we will be better able to develop a treatment plan to fit that individual's need. Now, this is a question I think almost everyone on this platform this evening wants to get answered. The definition for homelessness. In Jamaica, a person is considered homeless if he or she resides in a place not meant for human habitation, cars, parks, sidewalks, abandoned buildings, or on the street. If they reside in an emergency shelter, if they reside in a facility for homeless persons who originally came from the streets or emergency shelters, resided in any of the above places, but is spending a short time, up to 30 consecutive days, in a hospital or other institution. An individual who has been evicted within a week from a private dwelling unit or discharged within a week from a medical or mental health institution and has nowhere to reside. That's the definition, that's the broad definition that we use for homelessness. Now, our population, our homeless population in Jamaica is approximately 3,000. Of that 3,000, Kingston, the city of Kingston, has roughly 1,012 homeless individuals. We generally conduct point-in-time surveys. One has not been done recently, but previous counts had provided us with that figure. Of that 1,012 individuals, you will find that more than 60% of those individuals are males. Mr. Greg earlier referred to the fact that, based on his observation and visiting our location at 65 Hanover Street, he would have recognized that one of our major needs was for male clothing based on the high number of male residents. And you will find that this is a burning issue among our males in this country. And it is something that we are seeking, or we are trying to address through our parish homeless committee. This is something that a point that I will touch on a little further down in the presentation. The predisposing conditions of persons experiencing homelessness in our country can be mental illness, physical disability, involuntary returning migrants. Many persons refer to them as deportees, discharge from prison, substance abuse, indigent state, chronic illnesses. Chronic illnesses can be in the form of HIV, cancer, etc. Elderly, victims of natural or man-made disasters, and an individual's sexuality. Let me shed some light on the background information as it relates to homelessness. Resulting from the inquiry into the forced removal of homeless persons from Montego Bay to St. Elizabeth in July of 1999, the government had to come in and make a decision. And when they made that decision, the Board of Supervision was mandated to ensure the care and protection of homeless or street persons island-wide was at the forefront of their plans. As part of the ongoing effort to deal with homelessness in a comprehensive manner, the BOS, in collaboration with the municipal corporations, have been steadily making strides to ensure that all parishes have a parish committee for the homeless and at least one care facility for the homeless population. As implementers, the KSAMC has an oversight for the homeless, and we continue to take innovative steps toward addressing this issue. Through the establishment of the Parish Homeless Committee that I lead, we have a coordinated level of strategic planning, organization, development, and implementation of programs/projects that are facilitated to benefit the unhoused. Our Parish Homeless Committee consists of individuals from a wide cross-section of the society. We have government departments, health/mental care professionals. We have philanthropic organizations such as social agencies, service club, charities, and faith-based organizations, profit-based sector, and at least one rehabilitated individual, someone who was formerly homeless. And we have that person on our committee, one, to create perspective and to share that vicarious experience, and also to create a level of hope for others who are facing that predicament. Out of our Parish Homeless Committee, seeing the committee so broad and we have areas that we need to focus on, what we have done is we have dissected our committee, and we have broken down the committee into 3 working groups. The first of that, it is the public awareness group. Our public awareness group focuses on educational outreach and information dissemination. This group also focuses on storytelling and testimonials, in that we try to put our success stories out there. Public education through seminars and presentations. What we try to do, similar to this platform where we're sharing information about the work that we do at the KCMC, we try to go into schools, we participate in outreach programs, we participate in day of cares and different activities basically to get our information out there. We have educational materials and we do host our own events. Most recently, we hosted World Homeless Day on October 10th, which was very much supported by this Kiwanis Club. And of course, we thank you. Our other group is the fundraising group. This fundraising group, we focus on the coordination of fundraising efforts. We make recommendations for fundraising activities. We put proposals together. We try to create a fundraising calendar. And of course, we provide financial reporting so as to afford some level of accountability. Lastly, we have our rehabilitation and reintegration group. This group, we focus on the coordination of rehabilitation activities, health and specialized care, case management, evaluation, and feedback mechanisms. This group is one of our core groups in that it focuses on taking an individual from a state of negativity into a positive light. Under our homeless purview, we have different programs. We have our feeding program. This Kiwanis Club comes to us at our 65 Hanover Street location on a monthly basis, and they assist with the feeding of the homeless population and the street individuals in and around Kingston. Our feeding program is done on a daily basis at the Mary Atkins Night Shelter. We do not only feed our residents, we also feed at least 250 individuals on a daily basis. Our drop-ins who come in for breakfast and they come in for lunch. As a part of our feeding program, we also go into roving areas. So we will visit areas such as Halfway Tree, New Kingston, and Papine on selected days throughout the week to bring a meal to the less fortunate. We focus on housing solutions. Currently, we operate 2 shelters. The Mary Atkins Night Shelter, which is the original shelter of the KSAMC. This shelter was opened in November of 1993. When the doors of this facility was opened, its sole purpose was to provide care services to the homeless population in and around Kingston. Service users come to this facility to access a meal, change of clothing, a bath. For those who wish to stay over at the night shelter, based on availability of space, they will spend the night. Most recently, in 2022, we opened the doors to our modern facility, the Desmond Mackenzie Transitional Center for the Homeless. At this facility, and it's the first of its kind in Jamaica, at this facility, we seek to transform individuals from a state of not having hope to a level of confidence and restorativity. Individuals at this facility, they generally stay there for 6 months and the maximum time is up to 2 years. What we aim to do at the Desmond Mackenzie Transitional Center is we do assessments. Through our assessments, then we develop a care plan for these individuals. We have our self-reliance programs in place. These self-reliance programs seek to guide these individuals. We also try to mirror the Maslow's hierarchy of need pyramid, in that we believe that an individual's basic needs have to be met before the individual can self-actualize. And we have been doing good work in these facilities. Then we have our assertive outreach programs. The homeless individuals are all over the municipality, right across the metropolitan area. Not all individuals who are homeless will come to 65 Hanover Street. What we aim to do is we go out to where they are in order to bring service to them. From time to time, we conduct surveys, and in order to reach our target audience, we have to make the sacrifice as service users to rise very early in the morning. So we will say, make arrangements with the JCF and other organizations, and we seek to go out into these areas at 3 a.m. in the morning so as to capture the audience of the persons who are actually sleeping on the street. We conduct surveys to find out what it is that they need. And based on the results of those surveys, then we put plans in place to remedy the needs of these vulnerable individuals. Of course, we connect our clients to services, and we seek to build partnerships with diverse stakeholders. As you can see on the display here, I have Stephen Gregg. When he came to our department, he came there to hand over some much needed items that we really appreciate. At our poor relief department and in our homeless program, we practice the 3 C's. We practice to collaborate, coordinate, and cooperate in order to get the job done. Rehabilitation, empowerment, and reintegration. All of these 3 powerful terms come together to give us our success stories. And our success stories take the form of our self-reliance program. We have university graduates, individuals who came into our facilities depressed, lacking a ray of hope. And with our intervention and guidance, they were able to complete their university degrees. We have individuals who are now enrolled at tertiary level institutions. We have individuals who are participating in upskilling activities. We have individuals who are employed. We have our environmental warden program. This program is a brainchild of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And what the KSAMC seeks to do is to provide jobs for individuals who are homeless, living in our shelters, but they may not be at an academically inclined level. So they provide employment for them through this program. Of course, disaster mitigation is definitely a part of what we do. This season has been very active. We had Hurricane Beryl in July, and most recently in early November, we had the tropical depression Raphael, or tropical storm Raphael. Now, what we have standard operating procedures to ensure that there is effective communication and activation of the call-out process involving major hazards and incidents as they arise within the jurisdiction of the municipality in relation to the homeless population. In order to affect management and to respond in a timely manner, the various agencies and other stakeholders involved in this process are cognizant of their individual roles and responsibilities and the adherence and validation to the procedures outlined. Now, yes, I have elaborated on all that we're doing, all our achievements. The government, the Ministry of Local Government, especially our minister, he always champions the cause as it relates to this vulnerable population. Nonetheless, we still have our challenges. And even though the government has put things in place, such as our shelters, to offer housing solutions for individuals, it is still not enough because the homeless population is so vast. And this is where NGOs, service organizations, and other organizations come in. We need your assistance to assist with providing additional housing solutions, such as assisted living or half houses. Also, there's a lack of a wholesome, coordinated feeding program across the municipality. We will find that there are individuals who carry out feeding and they do not come through our office. What we are encouraging and we're advocating for is that we have a one-stop shop for feeding. And in Jamaica, I think it is best for us as a nation to coordinate our resources. To coordinate our resources so as to have adequate to serve. Because there are times when, due to a lack of coordination, it's the same set of individuals that benefit and they end up getting multiple meals, whilst there are others out there who simply do not get to reap the benefit. Whilst if we had a one-stop shop where everybody would report to, then we could eliminate this problem. There's also the need for additional socioeconomic support for development and training. Yes, we are trying to train these individuals and we're trying to put programs in place for them. However, we do not have adequate resources. As such, any form of assistance that we can receive in this regard would be highly appreciated. Then there's the issue of societal rejection. Homelessness is everybody's business. Yes, homeless individuals can become annoying. Homeless individuals, yes, are mentally ill. Homeless individuals may do things to upset the normal individual in society. However, what we are encouraging is that individuals take a different approach. Become aware of these circumstances and learn to deal with our homeless brothers and sisters in a more acceptable form. Another thing, another area that we're working on a policy of inclusion for the LGBT community. These individuals, they have also become homeless and vulnerable. Many of them already feel excluded and rejected as it is. However, at the KSAMC, we are trying to put policies in place to assist these individuals. We do not discriminate and we offer service to all. Right throughout the year, we conduct celebratory activities for this population. We have a New Year's Day social every year at the Sir Williams Grant Park. This occasion is generally led by our mayor. On October 10th, we recognize World Homeless Day. This year, we celebrated under the theme Advocate, Rehabilitate, Reintegrate the Journey Home. And what we did for our homeless population in Kingston was to commemorate by having a day of care for them. And we brought direct services to them. On Christmas morning, we also celebrate with them and serve them a special breakfast. And we try to embark on gift exchange. Right throughout the year, there are various social activities and engagements. So even though I may not mention the other holidays, we do have special events. These events are not always hosted by the KSAMC, but they're also hosted by our partners. How to contact us? Our main location is at 65 Hanover Street. Our contact number is 922-6936-7, or you can get us on 967-3470. The email address for the Poor Relief Department is poorrelief.deptksamc@gmail.com. And of course, we have the corporation's website. We have an Instagram page and also a Facebook page. We're also over by X. And we go by KSAMC on all platforms. Homelessness is everybody's business. As service providers, because as Kiwanians, I know that you believe in service to humanity. And I always stress that service to humanity is the best work of life. Thank you. So I'm open for questions now.
Thank you, Ms. Brady. That really covered, a wide range of things, of the issues that we are facing. I'm going to ask those who want to ask questions to use the mechanism where you put up a hand, and then we'll call on you as we see your hand. Let me ask you something, though. The address 65 Hanover Street, which we are aware of, is that the Marie Atkins shelter, night shelter?
Yes, it is. It's the Marie Atkins night shelter.
So where is the one for Desmond McKenzie?
Oh.
Where is that? What's the address
I
for that one?
omitted that. So our Desmond McKenzie night shelter is located at 163 to 167 King Street. So it's coming down from Euro Circle. It would be below Kingston High School.
Okay.
It's a building to the right after you pass Kingston High School.
Okay, so it's above, what's that main road again? Windward Road. Is that not Windward Road? That the one that leads into Parade. It's above that. We're Upper King Street then.
Upper King Street, correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's close to Crab Circle. You can enter from that.
Okay.
From that direction.
That's much higher up. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And yes, you said something about university graduates. I didn't get the full part. Is it that you're saying that
we have living in our facility?
Graduates, not
graduates. As in graduates. The person opted or persons opted not to actually attend their graduation, but they did get their degree whilst in our institution.
Very interesting. Is there? I think I see a hand up. Is that Zuri?
Yes, it is.
Go ahead, Zuri.
Hi, Mr. Johnson.
Miss Brandon, no, you could have presented and not ask you a question.
Oh my! You're going to give them a little history before asking the question?
Probably. But before I tell Miss Donnie, Maureen, Marcia, the whole Lawrence Park is
The
very
whole
proud of you.
Lawrence Park.
Okay. So the history is, then again, I have been classmates since grade 1. So we're in the same class from grade 1 to grade 6. And we only got separated when we went to high school.
Wow. That's some history.
Yep, rivals, right? Academic rivals ever since, right?
Yes.
So my question, I think it was in 1999 thereabouts, because I noticed in your presentation you said that the act was last amended in what, in the 70s? But
1973.
in 1999, I think there was some incident, it made major news where people, well, I guess it was alleged that the homeless people were taken from Kingston and
Not
dumped
Kingston,
at the
from
mud
Montego
lake in
Bay.
Central
From
Elizabeth.
Montego Bay.
It was Montego Bay?
Yes.
Yes. And dumped at the mud lake in St. Elizabeth. What, if
That is
anything,
correct.
has been put in place since then to ensure or to prevent against a reoccurrence of such kind of incidents, seeing that the act itself has not been amended since?
Okay, so the act has not been amended, but I did point out in the presentation that policies were put in place by the Ministry of Local Government, and it was coming out of that inquiry, because they had an inquiry. Coming out of that inquiry, we at the Poor Relief Department under Ministry of Local Government, we are mandated to provide care for these individuals. And under these policies, these individuals, their human rights are at the forefront, and no such practice will be allowed without any form of punishment. I'm sure you would have heard about homeless killings. I think last year there was even one that was they lit him at Hero Circle. He was burnt to death, and the minister, he came out and he did put out an award for individuals who would come in with information about the perpetrators of such an activity. And subsequently, individuals did come forward, and we did identify the culprits, and that those individuals are behind bars. So we have been advocating, and we've been trying our utmost best to ensure that no harm is being brought to this group, and this group is not treated less than.
Oh, thank you. A quick follow-up though. I noticed you said like an inquiry was done. Is there like a report that's available anywhere that we could read?
Yes, you can. What I can do, the Board of Supervision would have this information, so I will get the information for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't see another hand up yet. I'm still waiting.
Yes, me DP Stu.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Donaghy. Great presentation, and I'd like to just take the opportunity to thank you and the rest of your team members for the work that you're doing. It's probably sometimes not recognized, but it is as you went through your presentation, I realized, that it's so much more, and for what it's worth, thank you on behalf of Kiwanis Club of Kingston. And Jamaica, the wider Jamaica, for all the work that you do. Unsung heroes. In fact, I think your boss got an award, a national award.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Our Inspector of Poor, Mrs. Mavis Farquharson, she's a stalwart in the system. She has been in poor relief for over 30 years. Wow. And she's one that believes in service delivery, and, as I mentioned, service to humanity. Yes.
Kiwanis is all about service. So I had one comment and one question. One of the stories that I heard, which I found interesting, and maybe you can expand on it, is that some of the homeless persons that you have there, they're homeless, but their families have the resources. They're a family of means. but for some reason they distance themselves from the homeless person. I don't know if it's because of mental issues or physical illness. But strangely enough, when the homeless person dies, the family appears because sometimes they have, land and other assets. But so while they were homeless and alive, they have left them to the state to take care of. And then, but when they die, they're the first ones there to try and receive the dead left for the estate. How often does that happen? And can you speak to that? And then secondly, let me just squeeze in the second question was during the Christmas season, do the homeless persons have any increased mental or psychological pressure during that particular season, or is it the same throughout the year? Just asking curiously if there's any difference at Christmas time with your homeless persons.
Okay. I'm going to address the last question first, because the first one is a bit touchy. So, homelessness is something that I would not wish on anyone. And what we try to do is we try to create a family environment for these individuals. You'll find that they're human, and being human, of course, they feel a sense of neglect or negligence. At that time, some of them, they do reminisce about families. They reminisce about remember these individuals, they were living normal lives because no one was born homeless. And in that time, you will find that we have to try to reassure them. What we're even trying to do this year, I had put this proposal to our chairperson on Christmas Day, the mayor and other members of the KCMC generally comes in to give them a special breakfast. But this year, other than giving them a special breakfast, what I was suggesting is that we place individualized or personalized gifts under the tree for them so that they would at least feel a sense of love and belonging. And, they will get a sense that, yes, somebody still cares for me despite being neglected by my family. Now, to the first question, that is a frequent occurrence. That is a very frequent occurrence. It is very unfortunate. And I guess I can use this platform to maybe play on somebody's conscience and, hope that somebody out there is listening. Your family is currently in the care of the government. It is not something that we are in the government see as a burden. However, if you are in a position where you can render some form of assistance to that person before death, I think it is best for you to step in now and do something and not await the inheritance. We have a policy in place that is mainly implemented at our golden age homes, though, wherein individuals who are in our golden age home for a period, if relatives say may seek to come and take them when they're deceased, what we try to do is we try to recover some form of compensation for the period that they were there. But it happens quite frequently for individuals who are homeless, because what you will find, and this is the most heart-rendering part about it, the police or other referees will call our office and state that there's this man lying on the street, he has no one. And we go out there, we pick up this individual person, maybe stay in our facility a couple days, and then no visitors. Out of the blue, when the person pass off, I don't know how these individuals get wind of the information so quickly. Individuals show up. I was Tom's cousin, I'm Tom's daughter, I'm Tom's this, and yet you were not there whilst Tom was alive and Tom needed you. So this is something that as a nation, that it's a responsibility that individuals will have to take upon themselves to exercise some level of civic pride. So it is not something that we can maybe force onto somebody, but it is something that we can encourage and advocate that individuals try to exercise civic pride and care for their family members.
Agreed. Very well said. And I hope the message spreads.
I hope so, because Kiwanis is a wide platform.
Yes, it is. It is. Thank you
Well,
again.
Okay, we have another hand up. Cleo, go ahead.
Hi,
Go ahead, Cleo.
yes. Thank you so much, Ms. Brady, for your work. Congratulations and commendations on your courage and commitment. Question, you mentioned that a survey was done some time ago, which indicated that we have just over 1,000 persons in this population. How long ago was the survey done, and when will a current one be done? Do you think it could be much more than that at this time?
Okay, so that survey was done back in 2018. As you know, COVID would have prevented. We have our numbers, our figures, though, that we have our statistical data that we have in office. However, the survey would capture a broader audience. A survey has been due. However, due to some technical challenges, we have not set a date for it. I know that the Board of Supervision, I know that they're in dialogue with, I think, Staten, because we're trying to modernize the manner in which the survey is being conducted. But then the survey was done in a paper-based format. So because of the technological aspect that we're trying to implement, we have not set the timeline for that survey, but I'm sure it will be done in short order, because we need to get modern information.
Okay, thank you. Do you suspect after COVID, are there indications that the number might have gone up significantly?
It has, because remember our Desmond Mackenzie Transitional Center, it is very young. We opened our doors 2 years post-COVID. And I'm telling you, the turnover rate up there, it's very high. You have persons calling in, wanting to come in on a daily basis. And as I mentioned before, space inadequacy is a challenge for us. And you will find that it's not just aged individual. You have our young men. Our young men are coming in daily, seeking assistance, seeking shelter care.
Thank you. DP Stewart, just one last question. You mentioned, Ms. Brady, that you go out very early in the mornings when you're trying to identify the population and to assess the needs. I've noticed as well that in the nights they're visible. Where do they go in the daytime, and what's the whole sociological situation around that? Where do they go? Why can't they be
Where we
seen?
don't see them in the daytime? And
Yes.
I think they find spaces to hide themselves in the daytime because they know that the public is that there's a hate. As I mentioned before, that there's public rejection. So because of this public rejection, and they know that when they're seen in certain spaces, and we can speak about New Kingston in particular, when they're seen in certain spaces, individuals will scoff at them. Individuals may even try to hurt them. And then, so in order to protect their safety, they will try to find, I think they go into the gullies, They do go into the gullies and these areas, remote areas that individuals would not expect human beings to be. And then they resurface at nights when the streets are cleared.
Okay, thank you. That's okay, Cleo?
Yes, quite
okay.
sobering.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I see DP Judith who has her hand up. Let's ask her. Go ahead, GB Judith.
Good evening, Miss Donna.
Good evening, madam.
How are you?
I'm not bad
I
at
can
all.
recall there was a euphoria when President Obama was coming and the streets of Kingston was cleaned up of all these persons. At that time, I was working in New Kingston, and there was one particular gentleman who would roam the streets, including my workplace, would visit there occasionally, and very educated. He was an engineer by profession.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow along the line, he lost a screw
Mm.
and became homeless, and so they were scraped up. They were actually scraped up and removed off the streets because to make the streets of Kingston clean to entertain for the showcase for President Obama.
Mm.
Now, my question is, how legal was that? How right was that? Should that have happened?
This is a very tough one, but I cannot speak to it because I'm not aware of that situation. I think during that time frame I was in St. Anne.
Okay.
What I may have to do is I'll have to speak to our corporate secretary at the Board of Supervision for her to shed some light on that happening. That of course is not legal. It is not something, it is not a practice that we embark on at KCMC. I am not sure who would have done the removal. And I'm not
given
sure
the
who
okay for that.
would have given the okay for that mass removal.
Correct.
And where is it that those individuals were removed and brought to? I'm not aware of it at that time, and I don't know. This never came in the news, so I cannot speak to it.
Sorry, is it possible also that if they were even removed, they could have been put in an environment where they were being taken care of, at least for that period of time? It doesn't have to be that they were made worse off.
It is a possibility because remember the President Obama, he would have come before COVID, and our Mary Atkins facility was known to be very active back then. So I don't know if these individuals were removed and brought to receive services at the Mary Atkins Night Shelter.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're most welcome.
Okay. I think we're gonna have to get close to wrapping up. There is one thing I want to bring up though that you mentioned in your presentation, Ms. Brady, and it had to do with you use the term one stop, but which I'm not so sure if that's how you meant it. Because I think if you say it like that, it would almost suggest that everybody else who wants to feed the homeless must do it at one location. I don't think that's what you meant. But I appreciate the need for the coordination. So, and a lot of Kiwanis clubs have done this kind of thing where they call it Meals on Wheels, or, we have different names. And so how would you suggest they go about it in order to prevent the overfeeding of one group? How would you treat that information if somebody says, okay, we have 200 meals, we want to go into downtown Kingston? What are you asking them to do instead? How would you go about that?
Okay, I am glad that you raised that point, and I'm glad that you actually understand the point that I'm trying to bring across. I am not restricting individuals to just feed at our 65 Hanover Street location, but what we want is engagement, communication. The mayor of Kingston, he's currently seeking audience with all individuals who want to participate in the feeding program. So it is even good that I am on this platform so I can put this message out there. You can reach out to our Hanover Street location and provide your particulars, and we will inform you as to the date and time that meeting will be conducted. In that meeting, he will outline how it is that he wants individual to go about coordinating feeding across the metropolitan area.
Okay. So is that something like in another month's time or week's time? I mean, how close are we to that particular event?
Once individuals, because we've been trying to get the message out there. However, our listing is not very massive, and we know that it's a lot of persons who are engaging in this practice. And because we're seeking to have a huge audience, he has delayed or postponed, because he has set previous dates, but he has postponed those dates due to the limited number of individuals that we have on our current listing. So we'd encourage individuals to come in or come forward so that this meeting can happen even before the year ends. Because
So
it is something that is high. It is something that is high on his agenda.
So I say a group then, say a Kiwanis Club would come in and say, okay, we are the Kiwanis Club of X. We would like to, it may not be something that is planned, but we want to know when we plan it, how we go about it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll put them on the list and they can contact. I'm just trying to
us so that we can put a calendar in place. That is what we're trying to do. We're trying to put a calendar in place for feeding so that we don't have a duplication.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll find on a Sunday, you will have 5 persons feeding on a Sunday. And then in the week, when the need is there, there's basically nobody. So if we had some form of order or some form of organization, then it would eliminate the duplication one, and it would eliminate the inadequacy in the week.
Okay, a phone number, would a phone number help for somebody to at least say, okay, let me call, and then you can...
Yes.
Would you like to give us a phone number?
Let me give you the Hanover Street location number.
Okay, I'm going to make a note of it.
It's 922 69 37 3627.
Oh, 367. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's a good start.
Yes.
I saw a hand up. I was gonna take that as the last one, but the hand seems to have come down. So maybe we can go to our official. Thank you. Sure nobody else has any question? Okay, let's go to our official. Thank you. DP Dalmo.
Yes, DP Stewart. Thank you. What a wonderful evening we had. Donna K. Brady, you really enlightened us on what goes on behind the scene as far as taking care of the homeless. Most of us thought it was just a little thing that is being done by a few people now and then. Now we understand that it is a well-organized, well-managed activity. And we really thank you for enlightening us. We can look on it and realize that there's great need for us to participate, especially when you pointed out that the majority of the persons who are homeless are male. I'm quite sure that most of us on the platform were surprised at that piece of information. And certainly, we are going to take you up on that meeting for the coordination of the feeding program and how we can better participate both in the feeding program and other activities that will certainly support your work in taking care of those of our brothers who have fallen on hard times. We usually, when we have a face-to-face meeting, would present you with a certificate of appreciation. And that certificate of appreciation, we would hope you would find a little space on your wall somewhere to hang it. We are not face-to-face, but certainly I'll make sure I get that certificate to you so that you can look and see how well we appreciated your presentation. And please feel free to contact us should we be needed to help you. Right? Here's a picture of it, and you'll certainly get the hard copy. And once again, we thank you most wholeheartedly and hope that it's not the last time we'll hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Sir James. Thank you.
Miss Brady, there's something that probably should have come. We didn't ask you to tell us some of the ways in which a Kiwanis Club could help. You know, I don't know if you have anything off the top of your head, you know, because, okay, feeding is one thing. That's clear. What are the other things? I mean, you know, especially things that require manpower, even if it's not just money, you know.
Yes.
What could you suggest to us?
Okay. So, of course, you know, food is the staff of life, but these individuals, they also require care. So, if Kiwanians wish to come in to assist with pampering these individuals, washing their hair, combing their hair, doing, you know, giving them a little pedicure, coming in to play games with them, because from time to time we have games day, and we have board games and other form of interactive activities. And you know, other than seeing our faces that they see almost every day, they would appreciate seeing you know, some strange faces, some faces to let them feel that yes, they are still a part of society. So you know, if you would just come in and partake and just create a sense of family, it is something that we would really appreciate at our shelters.
So you're saying now Golden Age homes are part of this mix, right?
All right,
or is it just, yeah, go ahead and tell us.
Okay, the Golden Age home, we don't consider individuals in our Golden Age home as homeless, but the Golden Age homes fall under our Poor Relief program. Because before I outline that, Poor Relief covers both indoor and outdoor. The Golden Age homes fall under our institutional care. So these are our infirmaries. So if it is that you do want to go into our infirmaries, separate arrangements can be made, but that does not fall under my portfolio. My portfolio is homelessness.
Okay. And I must mention one other one. They are the disabled. There's a home near Crossroads. I can't remember exactly. I remember going there many years ago. That doesn't have anything to do with your thing.
No.
That's
and
different.
I maybe should have mentioned that the survey or the count, it's not just for persons who are on the street. We would have taken into consideration individuals living in NGO facilities, because you know, Father Olang, Good Samaritan Inn, and the others, Jacob Ladder, they are also homeless shelters. It's just that they do not fall under our portfolio. Their numbers, their statistical figures are also included.
There's a person, she had put up her hand before, Andrea Brady. I don't know if she's related to you. So
That's
I
nice.
must give her the chance to say something. She had put up her hand before, but she took it down. And then we went to the thank you. So Andrea Brady, maybe the sister. Go ahead.
It's my sister, yes.
We're not related. We're not related. I don't know this lady. Anyways, good night, everyone. So I came on late, and you know, I just want to say, Donna, I commend you. I did not realize the depth of your work, and you know, the commitment. I know you really have your heart into it, but I didn't realize the depth, and I'm so proud of you. And I just want to encourage you to keep up the good work. You know,
Thank
you know, yeah, I'm very proud, and I just want you also to remember to be safe in what you do, and you know, just keep doing what you do.
I appreciate it, and you know that this is in our genes to do hard work and to give service.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad you got a chance to say something. Back to you, President
I'm so
Stephen.
proud. Thanks.
Thank you, Brady ladies, and thank you again, Donaghy. If you can, we're going to wind up the meeting now, but you can stay online because after the meeting,
Yes, I will.
people may want to speak with you, so we have something
Not a
called.
problem. I will stay online, but
Sure,
I'll turn off the camera for now.
Yeah, man, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
And we're glad that you facilitate us. So, Kiwanians, we're going to move on with the program. We're running a little bit late, and I'm going to ask now VP Zuri, classmate of Miss Brady, to give us a few Sergeant Arms, give us a few jokes or extract some fines so that before we conclude our meeting. VP Zuri, over to you.
Thank you, President Stevens. So I'm actually in transit. So because of that, I'm going to keep my camera off.
Understood.
But just to say, it's not just classmate, she's also my friend.
Of course, more importantly.
Yeah. So this evening I'm going to be telling you. So there was this wife. She was doing laundry, and she was going. You're searching the pockets before you put the clothes in the machine. So she went into the living room where her husband was watching TV, and she gave him one lick across the back of his head with a frying pan. So he's like, "Honey, what's going on?" So she said, "I found this paper in your pocket, and the name Sheila is on it. What's going on?" So he says, "Well, it's my friend Richie who gave me the name. That's the name of a horse. So when we went to the track on Saturday, I bet on that horse. That's the horse I bet on." So the wife apologized and she kissed him on the back of the head, and she went back in the kitchen. Well, in the laundry room. Then she came back. And this time she gave him one lick with a Dutch pot. And he said, "Honey, what happened?" And she said, "Your horse is on the phone." So for all my Kiwanian brothers who did not make it to the new format meeting on last week Tuesday, and no apology was given, I'm going to give you a fine of $500 this evening. So enjoy the rest of your evening, gentlemen, and all Kiwanians present.
Thank you, Sarge. Thank you, VP Zuri. That's a good one, and thank you for sharing.
Mr. President,
yes, PDT.
Is a Sarge a track of the fines and the collection of the fines? Just asking.
I believe he
I
is.
tried some time ago, but nobody came for the money.
We don't come for the money, Ralston.
Ralston, you must
you must send in the money.
You must send in the money.
Yeah. You can wire transfer it.
I know instructions. The Sarge should be homeless.
All right. Notices and announcements. DLG Willie, over to you. Can you share with us upcoming events or notices for the coming week?
Thank you, President. My video has been disabled, so
that's all right.
First notice is our Christmas Ball Planning Committee meeting this Thursday in my house at 6:30. We had sort of 2 weeks ago, and we need to finalize certainly the returns in terms of tickets and in terms of advertising contracts. You made reference certainly to our Christmas ball on December the 7th at the Pegasus Hotel. Tickets you may contact me or the president for tickets. Cost is $20,000. And just to bring to the attention of the members of the club, as part of our fundraising efforts, we have a benefit performance of the Basil Dawkins play, First Lady, on January the 4th at 8:30 p.m. And so far as in the clubbing opportunities, we have an invitation or I've been asked to make an announcement on behalf of the Kiwanis Club of Cyber Connect, through President Joan Phillips Bennett, that on Thursday, they're inviting us to part 2 of their cancer talk, Navigating in Space. This is an online meeting, and the flyer will be in the group. That's all for now, President Stephen. You may now ask other members if they have any.
Yes, thank you, dear Willie. And we also, so we'll ask any other Kiwanian club that is online now who have any announcement that they would like to share on the platform. Now is the opportunity. Upcoming events or anything of note that they'd like to share.
President Stephen, I stepped away from the phone, but I don't know if it was a reminder was done of our divisional church service.
No, so go ahead.
We're inviting you to join us at on December 1st, 9 a.m., Church of the Good Shepherd for church service.
Okay.
You could tell us where that is?
Yes.
It is at, I think it's 193 Constant Spring Road. Remember Worthley Home? Anybody remember Worthley Home?
I remember Worthley Home, yes.
Right next door. Remember that little church?
Oh, yes, yes.
You remember?
On
You
the
turned
hill.
back by Manor Park Center there, and they built a nice, lovely one up on the hill.
Yeah.
So that's where it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So please try members and join us for the church service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
good evening.
I expect you to be there, Rally.
One second, DP Judith. Yes. Over to you now, DP Judith.
Okay, good evening, President Stephen and fellow Kiwanians. The Kiwanis Club of 23 East Professional St. Andrew Online invite you all to support us in our annual fundraiser. And this is our third fish fry. The club is only 3 years old, so we are running our annual fish fry. It will be on Friday, December 13, and it will be meals can be collected at the Church of the Ascension, 1A Daisy Avenue, Mona Heights. Cost is only $3,500, and you'll get your meal, full box of lunch, plus a drink, plus a little sweetener. We look forward to your full support as we support you with your ventures. Thank you. Tickets may be had from me or any other member of the club. Just give me a call and I can reserve your tickets for you. Thank you.
Right. And DP Judith, put your contact number in the chat so that person can find you. Those who don't have your number already.
Sure. I know my number is there with several of your members.
I know they do, yes.
DP Stewie has my number.
There you go.
Not to mention PDT.
Right. And DLG Willie, I'm sure too.
And DLG Willie, yes.
There you go.
Why you?
And please, Stephen, please remember our meeting tomorrow. You can join us. I'm sure they'll have online, but wouldn't it be lovely if Kingston Club join us face to face? Since we'll be having a lot of things, including we're honoring one as Special Olympian. How you call that? From the Special Olympic?
Yes, Special Olympics.
Yes, and it will be a really enjoyable meeting. So try and join us.
We will. We'll try and roll out. All right. Any other clubs have any announcements? We'd like to wind up now.
Good evening.
Good evening,
President Stephen.
Hi, Director Crystal. Go ahead.
Hope all is well.
All is well.
Indeed. Good evening, distinguished guests, my fellow Kiwanians. The Kiwanis Club of Montego Bay will be meeting face-to-face this Thursday. We'll be honoring our men in recognition of International Men's Day. Also, we'll be having and that's in Montego Bay at the Radar Center at 6 p.m. Also, we'll be having our cake sale The flyer will be circulating, so if anyone is interested, please feel free to reach out to me or even DLG Willie with your orders. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support as always. Back over to you, President.
Thank you, Director Crystal. Sure. That's Kiwanis Club of Montego Bay. Please try and go out and support them also, as well as our sisters, New Kingston, Eastern Kingston, online, etc. Any other clubs?
Good night, everyone. This is President Tonian from the Kiwanis Club of Coastal Trelawney.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, President Tonian.
On Thursday, we will also be having our face-to-face meeting, business meeting, and community health, wellness, and family planning session. So this will be at Glistening Waters, that is in Falmouth, and our meeting time starts at 7 p.m. So if you are in the area or if you are able to come by, feel free to do so.
We will. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to have you from Trelawney. You should come back again. Any other clubs having any announcements? If not, going once, twice. I see DP Marcel online. Would you just share with us a positive thought or affirmation for the week as we wind up?
Happy to do that. Good evening, everybody. It's simple. The man who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the man doing it. That's it.
Your microphone was somewhat crackled. Can you give us one more time, please? Come a little closer. Yes.
Oh, certainly.
Yes.
Here we go. Is this better?
Yes, much better.
The man who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the man doing it.
All right. That's a good one. Positive thought for the week. Thank you. As we conclude, I will just add that remember, Ms. Brady has graciously agreed to stay on for a couple of minutes after we conclude. So if you had any questions that weren't answered, or there are any questions that you would like to ask of her, I think I saw one in the chat about homeless persons with mental problems. So we can continue the conversation offline, or online, but outside of the meeting as we conclude. So on that note, thank you one and all Kiwanians and guests for joining us this evening. It was an entertaining and informative and enlightening meeting, and we're glad to have you here, and that hope it inspires you to service, and particularly for those of us who are less fortunate, and especially those of our fellow Jamaicans who are homeless. So on that note, I would like us to raise a glass. If you have a glass, I have an imaginary glass this evening, to Kiwanis International and to Jamaica, land we love. Cheers. And this concludes the meeting of the Kiwanis Club of Kingston. Thank you. Good night. Everybody stay safe and all the best.